So, what happens when all the old maps just disappear? The stories, the beliefs, the values that we thought would always be there to guide us, what if they just collapse? This whole explainer is a journey right into that silence, into what we're calling the wasteland, to ask a really tough question. How do you build a soul from the ground up? Okay, so let's set the scene. Our journey kicks off in the City of Glass. Picture this place. It's all about surgical precision and polite lies, where everyone is just performing, putting on a frantic show of being a person. But just outside its walls, that golden compass everyone relied on, it's broken, shattered. This collapse, which some thinkers call the death of God, has left this enormous cultural vacuum. It's a void, and in that void, existence itself suddenly seems like it has no inherent value at all. And this, right here, is the central challenge, isn't it? When the comfort of all those old ways is just gone, what do? Do you give in to despair? Or do you look at this empty space and see an opportunity? You see, this journey isn't about finding some new map somebody else drew. It's about learning how to draw your own. So, first things first, we've got to get our bearings in this new, kind of unsettling landscape. Before we can even think about a solution, we have to really understand the problem itself. So, welcome to the void. Now, the void isn't just some empty space out there, it's a state of mind. It's that terrifying silence you hear when it hits you that the universe doesn't come with an instruction manual. It's that chilling, profound realization that you are fundamentally and kind of terrifyingly free. In this new reality, you're faced with a choice, a big one. You can retreat back into what's called the gilded cage, this world of societal expectations and comfortable, polite lies. It's an architecture of stagnation. It's safe, but there's no growth there. Or you can step out into the wasteland. And yeah, it's harsh out there. It's the mountain frost of reality, a place of dismantlement. But it is the only place where you can begin to forge something real, out in the wilderness of your own soul. So how do you do it? How do you survive in this wasteland, let alone build something new? Well, the journey demands this really profound inner transformation, broken down into 3 stages. So let's walk this path of the soul together. This whole journey of self-creation, it unfolds in 3 metamorphoses. First, the spirit has to become a camel, the beast of burden. Then that camel has to transform into a lion, the great destroyer. And finally, the lion has to give way to the child, the sacred creator. This is our roadmap for getting across the abyss. The key to this first stage, the camel, is all about acceptance. The camel doesn't run, it willingly carries the cold, industrial weight of the truth. It bears the ignoble knowledge of its own past, all the mistakes, the traumas, the repressed memories that feel like jagged stone trees inside your mind. It accepts what's called the original catastrophe, the simple fact of being an individual, separate and alone, without any comforting illusions. Okay, so after carrying all that weight, the spirit has to learn to rebel. And that brings us to the second metamorphosis, the lion. The lion is defined by this one single powerful word. It's a sacred no, roared against all the duties and values that other people try to force on you. But don't get it twisted. The lion's destruction isn't just about tearing things down. It's a creative act. It slays the midwife of the abyss, those voices and forces that tempt you to just give up, to let yourself be erased. By roaring no to all those hollow duties, the lion clears the ground and makes the space needed for the true self to finally grow, turning its will into a testament of dignity. And after the lion has cleared the land, the child appears. The child is like a self-propelled wheel. It doesn't need to be pushed or pulled by anyone. It's a brand new beginning. It's got this pure, creative innocence that can finally truly say yes to life and begin the sacred game of creating its own values right there in the vacuum. But here's the thing. You don't take this journey alone. The wasteland is actually populated by these figures. And they're not really villains, not in the usual sense. Think of them more like mirrors, catalysts of truth that force you to confront the parts of yourself you'd much rather ignore. 2 of these mirrors are incredibly powerful. First, you've got the daemon of truth. It acts like a high judge, shattering that stagnant architecture by forcing you to see your own hidden hypocrisy, your ignoble knowledge. Then there's the uncanny jester. It's an instrument of truth that uses mockery to tear down your performative image, revealing the terminal sickness of living an inauthentic life. Both of them are there to help your fragile ego crumble. And then you have the ultimate temptation, which is embodied by this figure called the Red Spectre. Its philosophy is the logic of zero. It's that deep desire to just end the struggle, to go back to the profound peace of non-being. It promises to erase the self, which it sees as nothing more than a temporary static disturbance. It's basically the siren song of surrender. Which brings us to the climax of this whole journey. After facing the burdens, the rebellion, the mirrors, the soul faces one final, ultimate test. A single choice that will define everything that comes next. And this is the core of it all. And it's a question I want you to ask yourself right now. Really think about it. Could you say yes to reliving your entire life? Every single moment, the pain, the joy, the struggle, the triumph, all of it, over and over again for eternity with nothing changed? Could you affirm it all? This is the hourglass of eternal becoming. And it's not meant to be a punishment. It's the ultimate tool for self-creation. See, the choice to repeat your life forever forces you to take what our sources call radical responsibility for everything you are and everything you've ever been. It is the final act of truly owning your own story. Your answer really boils down to one of two logics. Saying no is choosing the logic of zero. It's accepting the crimson gift of erasure, surrendering to the abyss. But saying yes, that's embracing the logic of one. It is a complete affirmation of yourself. It's a fire of becoming. You become a light that generates its own source, even in the dark. So, what happens when you say yes? What emerges from the ashes of that ultimate test? You become the sovereign creator. That one little word, yes, is an act of transfiguration. The journey started with a student, right? A beggar, looking for answers and judgment from outside forces. But it ends with a master, the master of their own soul, the author of their own law. And this sovereign creator, that's the final form of the child. They dance on the broken pieces of their old performative masks. They've left that static city of glass far, far behind. And there, in the vacuum of the void, they create new, authentic values. And most importantly, their very existence becomes this ongoing proof against nihilism, against the logic of zero. And that really is the core message of this entire journey. The collapse of old worlds, that fire of dismantlement, the pain of carrying your own history, none of it is the end. It's all fuel. It is the fertile ground from which something brand new can be built. And so, the question now passes to you. This wasteland isn't some far-off philosophical idea. It's the reality we all have to navigate when the old answers just don't work anymore. So where are you on this path? Are you the camel, still carrying the weight? The lion, learning to say no? Or are you the child, ready to create? The wasteland awaits.